I'm Dr. Fumio Shimpo, professor at Keio University. First of all, I would like to thank you for having an opportunity to talk at the 10th Asia Privacy Breach Forum. Today, I'd like to talk about the importance of smooth data usage and the protection of privacy in the age of AI, the IoT, and autonomous robots. The relationship between robots, AI, and the Internet of Things. We are heading for robot coexisting societies. Such a future society is not a science fiction. Now we are living in. Now we are using and we are living in many robots. So now we are using many robots in our daily lives. So therefore, because of such a rapid advance of AI combination robots, and also AI and Internet of Things will change data handling circumstances drastically. Autonomous robots, not only automated vacuum cleaner, now I'm using Roomba. Such automated vacuum cleaner is very useful, but also highly automated vehicle will be used in our daily life. Therefore, a legal response is also needed to consider legal issues which will arise in relation to using such autonomous robots and AI. Therefore, I have been trying to improve legal research as robot law. Can AI be used to improve human moral decision making? My first concern for smooth data usage and protection privacy in the age of AI, the IoT and autonomous robot is, can AI be used to improve human moral decision making? For example, AI and robots are expected to be used in the future in our daily life and improving quality of our life. It is possible that such use of AI and robots will not be limited to the automation of anticipated areas. From the point of data usage, we can also assume that the ability to produce government information will be dramatically accelerated by the use of AI with open data sources. It is likely that AI will be useful for understanding and investigating in detail past case studies in order to guarantee the fairness of any former administrative actions. Furthermore, the use of AI to gather and analyze government information may also make it possible for residents to more easily discover, for example, illegal or wrongful financial accounting or activities, and to more easily to analyze official documents disclosed through freedom of information requests. However, we must consider the question in the context of information disclosure. To what extent can information generated by AI, such as the information forming the basis of draft policy measure decision-making information obtained through deep learning, be disclosed? However, improper use of such AI and robots could lead to big brother risk. If robots and AI are introduced into law enforcement and government administration, we must further evaluate and cautiously investigate not only their positive uses but also their problems in terms of the related policing and administrative laws. Although the fear of future over-controlling nation-states using a mass collection of data has been embodied in the dictator Big Brother, featured in George Orwell's futurist novel 1984. It is possibly and positively and centrally manage all the images captured by security cameras on streets instantaneously to analyze these images in real time through facial recognition technologies and to constantly monitor the movement of citizens and to analyze their personal data online. However, a future in which an AI autonomously determines from the result of such monitoring which civil code steps to take in order to promote crime prevention, the appropriate control and protection of citizens may be a step too far in the direction of Big Brother effect, where the legal and ethical principle is not stipulated that robots must be subject to the rule of law, and when the specific limits to the introduction of robots and AI within government operations are not agreed and settled, then there is a risk that this Big Brother effect will come into being. Possible future problems regarding AI. In the future, new generation robots connected to networks by Internet of Things and therefore ubiquitous as well as being autonomous will operate in completely different ways and may cause serious problems to people in our daily lives. Therefore, we have to consider carefully all of these potentially serious problems in order to secure safe procedures for their use in a potentially very different and new human environment. If human beings do not manipulate directly these smart autonomous robots and AI, problems or damages will arise due to their misbehaving judgment and consequent acts. A consideration of how precisely legal liability will be judged with respect to such smart autonomous robot and AI surely must include a legal idea of how such robots must act, not as automatons, but rather as humans. It is difficult to confirm what kind of information the deep learning of artificial intelligence acquired and how did they learn. As a result of deep learning by AI, it is a difficult issue to ensure transparency of its decision process. It seems to be a real issue for developers and manufacturers that they should bear the legal responsibility in such cases. Reducing the possibility of privacy violation by AI use. When we use AI and autonomous robots, most importantly, it is necessary for us to consider protection of rights and interests of individuals and of their right to privacy and of the protection of their personal data. Consideration issues in relation to daily use of AI and to personal information protection systems are both affected by the advancement of machine learning technologies, deep learning, and its associated handling of big data. At this point in my presentation, it should be noted that these issues about absolute security standards has caused an atrophy effect on R&D, and that some clear rules must be provided as soon as it's possible to either reduce or eliminate this atrophy. For example, the issues of AI, financial and other transactions and consumer protection, it is clear that a problem arises from the point of consumer protection. When any financial transactions are actioned by AI, there have been many cases recorded pre-AI where the other party linked to the financial transaction has mistrusted the human initiator of the said financial transaction. It is not too speculative to assume that there will be the chance of even more such cases where AI is the initiator of the financial transaction. Thus, we may have a big problem on our hands. The logical next step in the process of AI-driven such transaction is to do with situation in which a particular AI recommends to and purchase products or services for consumers, thus creating a considerable AI effect of human decision making. It is obvious that in this situation, the consumer protection is to do with to what extent consumers will be able to conduct such transaction while maintaining an appropriate level of self-control in deciding how and to what extent to spend their money. Surely, in this situation, there may be a high level of misunderstanding between the transaction parties, particularly in case where the consumer think that the transaction have been completed by human being and not by AI. This may happen because in AI transaction in which advanced profiling is used, consumers may be overwhelmingly disadvantaged due to information asymmetry. And the importance of smooth AI cross-border data transfer with the recent development in this technology. And we now see increased opportunity acquiring data of all types of using AI, and in particular, those opportunities associated with cross-border data transfer. It follows that we must insist on the protection and precondition to usage that data is properly handled, protected, and transferred smoothly. As you know, on the 23rd January 2019, a framework for the mutual transfer of data was constructed between Japan and the European Union for new framework to improve such smooth data transfer. In the future, it will be important that data acquired when using the various AI services will be transferred without any problems. In order to address this need, Japan and the European Union has been investigating a potential solution via mutual adequacy findings. These mutual adequacy findings will further facilitate commercial exchanges, thereby completing and amplifying the benefits of economic partnership agreement with the European Union, which became effect on the 1st February 2019. And future legal discussions about the increasing use of AI. The evolution of AI will speed up more in the future. Along with this, the AI collection of personal information will similarly accelerate. The current legal system for ensuring personal data protection are not sufficiently robust to regulate effectively the handling of data collection by AI, and thus the protection of data subject right is limited at the moment. With regard to our discussion as a whole, and as stated before, conventional industrial robots no longer present us with legal problems because their use falls within the scope of product liability law. A vital part of the existing legal system. And however, when it comes to the use of robots equipped with AI, we enter a different legal arena. There needs to be some serious discussions of the legal issues related to AI and of the issues related to advanced information processing systems which operate within the controllable range of human beings. These discussions need to take place within the context and scope of the existing legal frameworks and interpretation. Using the context and scope of these existing legal frameworks and interpretations in order to develop new ones may not solve all of the AI use related legal problems, but I must stress the point they cannot be dealt with by not changing our conventional legal interpretations and systems. As cyber security problems develop, as the internet evolves, so must our legal frameworks and interpretations develop at the same pace. When examining these new and fascinating legal issues, it is necessary for us not only to discuss the fit for purpose status of our current legal frameworks, but also to examine carefully those issues which simply cannot be addressed by our existing legal interpretations. We must welcome these new technologies while showing clearly and precisely with evidence that they must not be allowed to operate with an absence of regulations and rules. This is end of my presentation. Thank you.